Special on GHOne TV. My name is Jon Germain. Super honored to be here. Just as I spoke about earlier, we're going to have a conversation from a different angle. We're hoping this might become an annual event or annual show where we talk about our country, Ghana. Today we talk about from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to Honorable John Mahama. We get to talk about the best part of Ghana, from the movie sector to the music sector to sports. We get to talk about all that, and I've got a lady and a gentleman in the studio. I'm going to start with the legendary gentleman in the studio. I've done 3 or 4 interviews with him in the last 20 years. Superstar in Ghana, in America, known very well, honored in America for putting Ghana on the map, renowned jazz saxophonist, renowned high life singer-songwriter, renowned performer, and arguably one of the originators of rap music, because he released this album Simigwa Rap before the Sugar Hill Gang, who were for rap music, put out their album. So we can say that rap music comes from Ghana. Now you see why Ghana is so special. He's in the studio with me, Mr. Jedu Blay Ambole, the legend. Good evening to you. How are you?
Yeah, thank you, and I'm good. Yeah, and it's been a while.
It's been a while. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Looking very well.
Yeah, man, I've seen you also going through changes, man.
Yes.
And I see that, man. But it's all well and good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Glory be to God.
Yeah.
Glory be to God. So the lady who joins the legend in the studio is an amazing broadcaster in her own right. One who doesn't mince words. She says what she wants to say, how she wants to say it, and whatever happens next is no one's problem. I love how she goes about every single subject she talks about, because every now and then you get the impression, that's one of the reasons why I like it. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Good to have you here. This is your home, so I should even be welcoming you.
So you are also welcome.
Thank you very much, but it's good to have you here. Listen, we have a lot to talk about. It's an hour and 30 minutes. It's the Independence Day special right here on GHOne TV. Now, my very first question is a question that goes through every single person's mind. Ghana is 68 years old. Now, Mr. Ambole was 10 years old when Ghana gained independence. And my very first question I want to put across is, what is the one thing that you think is worth celebrating after 68 years? They always say ladies first, and I know you always come with the fire, so I'm going to start with you. Over country and other come before.
My country.
Main country with TV, so I'm sure people are going like,
And I know the over country, the chair say, and I Ghana a forfeit and a yen found with the dano. Baby, I may feel me if I can't cross into your country to permit me na main country amount. Bema I have phone in Adjo and a tinqua. Say 68 years, Ghana, I there, whether good or bad, yeah, there, but I dare say. We be say 68 years as our mana ye wo bibia bi na ye hwe ye tibia ye wo musese ya e be ye say ye ni beje se ye be di birthday ana sabi o ka fa chesenka oye papa na wawo ba ana waware na ebia situation Ghana wo musese ya no owo mu a wone ne mane na busua na ni beje se aso wo betena so no watu adidi pono de ama ne fipamfo ana Obi beka so sanya Ghana nkwa na yenya independence a beka 68 years ye face challenges a hodo na emom ye su ama ye ho so oman ye nsu ma other countries a wo mo aka ye mfa no school education Kwame Nkrumah ba ye no obo ne ho modern sa oman ne fapem yen foundation ne be education na aboa ma bibia timi akoso ye enu nti oputu effort I betimi ye betimi agina so as a foundation stone ye betimi agina so ne ne enema bia e betimi abase daachen in the near future na e okay wo kwan mu a ye be hu kwan a ye be fa so ne ye be kon ye hwe e Ghana education system e kosen previous government call ne ye wo whole secretariat so motimi emma abasobody ana since ye chiba scholarship de man for the school ye tete ho nsam obet ye so obi dia pm 56 obi dia pm 200 obi nia wono hia so ye saade no wen oman bia fa pem ne nkan ko gina youth so mabunu look at mabunu ye wo oman mu especially mema no omobobre te sen drugs agye wo maboso we agye wo maboso krono agye wo maboso enti wo man no ɛdeɛ ne ye dwen amanyɔfo omo wo mu oh MPP NDC na ne yadwen anase Ghanaians na omo wo mu no yadwen omo ho ne say ye wo problem bi as ye solve eno nti no ye channel ye focus nyina de egu ho na ya solve sa de na na ye wo EIB ye wo GHOne TV ye mfa ne say ye studio air condition nya adwuma na de bia ya betena ehwu mu ye de fan na enu ye ho o ne ya tese ye se John Mahama ye party na bia ba bi o wo na ehwu o be hu se management ekukuru sika no mo de akwa akoto air condition de akwa akoma wo sabio kafa chen ye te ya na de ye deserve ana what did you make sure na say we are trying so hard to say as oman no ye be ye bibia o ye o ye ya de aban we ba ye wo ya omo SSF serve purpose no mo na serve ewen yenhwe sanitation buburu baby abefa nkan bia ye chukbola ya was wudidi a medidi a me de beto enu nti na ya bo obi pass wo nya adwuma eyezum lion ye de o man sika ma ne seje na fa ye adwuma ade na ode ye
nti in your view no
ye ni hwe celebrate dabi ese kasabre ye tena se na yesu because yensuo asai yenkwa yebretuo asai yenwumasua nkoyie education bibia nkoyi entidie ne yetena se asoman ebia daddy
okay mama
etebia sa time na wo 10 years ansa na Ghana fa wodie no wu niema bia beka se ni say edie na ye celebrate
let me get it from your point of view. You have seen Ghana from before it became Ghana Gold Coast to now. You've seen all the presidents till now. Now you look at the state of the nation now. What is the one thing that you think is worth celebrating? Or do you think there's any?
I don't think we have anything to celebrate as the Mr. Orokano. Because it'll be about to celebrate to be not there is something, there's some achievement to be. Rather than or why we celebration now. There's an achievement in you are naked celebrated. Then what are you talking about?
So you think Ghana hasn't achieved anything at all that's worth celebrating?
At this time of our age, look, one who get a doctorate degrees is one who get from the professors, the neck account, I don't know. What is coming out of that? Even achievement in union because Gogisbeck from the education was the best. On years up to now. Okay. We are not questioning it. Yeah. Whether is there,
please do English for us. If not, we are going straight into.
Okay, we're not questioning whether it's good for us as a people or not, and it has affected us in our way of life because if you look at the nature of our river bodies now, I mean, we are educated people. We're supposed to be doing some things that will rather enhance whatever that we have. Because if we say that God bless our homeland Ghana, I mean, the blessings is already there because we have the rivers, we have the, what we call it, we have the mineral resources and all that. So if we are crying that, oh, bless our homeland Ghana, of which we have all these things, it means that you don't have the foresight to know that these things are already there. The only thing that we need to do is ask for, guardians, how we can use it for our benefits and our children. But we're not using that because the river bodies, is that what our ancestors left for us? These days that we go to school and we've achieved so much and we can't take care of our river bodies. I mean, we have the soldiers who are there to fight for those who are coming to invade. But if some people are invaded internally and spoiling life, the soldiers need to get up. The police need to get up because everything has to be put into, structural, formalities.
Let's look at things from a bit of a more positive side. Now, one thing that I find really exciting these days is wherever you go in the world, the mere mention of the name Ghana is put smiles on people's faces. That's one thing I personally admire, and I personally think we as a people, I don't think it was done by one individual. We as a people have gone a very long way to make sure people all over the world think of Ghanaians in a very positive way. Now, let's look at the positive, just as I mentioned. What are some of the things that you think in the last 68 years represents Ghana or has represented Ghana positively all over the world? Positively. Positively.
Is that my question?
I'm gonna go back to him.
Okay. I mean, positively, I don't think that we have anything that is positive apart from what Kwame Nkrumah structured. Because Kwame Nkrumah came for the people, you know, and he laid down so many things. He's talking about the factories, you're talking about Ghana Airways, you're talking about you know, Black Star Alliance and you know, so many things. Because when I was growing up, there were people making what we call the galamseys. But only a few were making galamseys because there were jobs in town. So people, you know, anywhere that you go, there were jobs. And that's why that phrase, like work and happiness, came. Because I witnessed it. Workers go to work from 12 o'clock, they go to afternoon jobs and things like that. 2 o'clock, they come back to work. So it looks like there was a balance.
Yeah.
You know, but as at now, no jobs.
Don't you think the change and the growth in population, at that time Ghana's population was quite small, manageable, the population has grown. I'm not giving excuses for anybody,
Yes,
but don't you think that affects in the process and the progress as well?
But we have to use our heads. We've gone to school, we've learned what is good for us, that we will know that eventually population will grow. So we have to get prepared for that.
And we were not prepared.
Where is the preparation? Because if you take a look at science and technology since Kwame Nkrumah established it, what has come out of there? School of Engineering. And there are some private people who are trying to put some things together, you know, I mean, naturally, because people have gifts and things like that. Are they being invited there to try to, you know, catapult it or that kind of a thing? No. Rather, they keep on, you know, try to degrade what you're trying to bring. But they are not bringing anything. And we are not questioning it. I mean, how many people have gotten up to say that why science and technology hasn't produced anything? We have to question it. If anything that is not working for us as a people, we have to question it.
If then I also work on Kadeka home. Say positively.
Positively,
Utu call other countries. Ghana, there's always a smile on people's faces.
I did call Ghana. I bet me I say ye body in the Hawaii who ye sending asumdue peace our country anymore. Irrespective of the basic we are saying, maintaining who say our politics in Mobiano. Want to see a central KBSC ama or my Ghana ye butu that. I don't see one more woman to come my Ghana for more foreigners or so any just on Ghana or mobile because come higher any jewa and no pet because Usha and borders are who do I walk try and wash here. Obia to me remo keke yen bisa hwe so call US so call Canada the struggles are from one son wako e cry bi awo ko di dwa keke no aba na okoye bibi keke no omo bisa se di nti na person ko di na che so ko abeba biem ben yen Ghana na yen misa se kwase broni fini krom na wo ba obrasa de da ye bre yi bia na e bi oba bedu ne ya obenya dan atenam obenya Ghana card bi ekita no ordinam Nigeria for ba wo monko na da e kan say 68 years Kwame Nkrumah say ya wo draw to one and one so na ye gusu a ye di so as time goes on na ye nyi no ye nyi e wo different angle. Why? Because yama ye ho kwan ama politics aba beje ya afa enti sa kwada so na wo ye raising apa the one year radio Sony TV so kasa we defend the MPP we defend the NDC whether good or bad say NDC what power ne nkwade omo ya de na yo enye we sim ya fia me NDC ni me defend me MPP ni sim me defend enti ni onu no tifie na oko school no na adwe nyina ye ne say me support this political ideology and I support this. So no matter the situation, whether it's good or bad, I'm going to support it. What did the amateur say? I'm going to support it. Ghana say issue a 2017 another cast what the nakunya kra beto so. Ema Ghana fo nyina nya ni mugidso yenya wo bia sabi oni papa be mampanyi pen no no so abantinene no so de ne life atoso anas ne presidency atoso a yema ne the benefit of the doubt ne yenhwe operation Ghana stop one omodi ni nyina bai ene wen asrafo no mo ye military ya so mo say
you totally steered away from the positives that I wanted us to.
No, the positive na makanani ABC no. Apart from that, we've
gone back to Galamsey. Let's try a switch because it's a celebratory day. Even though, in your opinion, there's a lot that needs to be done. There's almost nothing that needs to be celebrated about. Let's try and find some positives so the young ones watching us now would know and think that there's still hope for us. There's something that the leaders need to do, or they need to do to affect change.
I think it's about time. Let's spade a spade for them to know.
I get you. We'll go back. We'll get back to that. But I'm trying to maintain a smile on everybody's face this evening, and your fire is a bit too much. And it's quite interesting. She's got support with Mr. Abuli as well. So let's talk about. Let's go totally, of course, and let's talk about Ghanaian music. Let's talk about from Independence Day, some of the great songs and musicians we've had, from E.T. Mensah to the Ramblex Band to Wolume, and back down to the young we have today. Let's share some experiences. Now, you were born way before Ghana became independent. Tell us about how the music industry was like, and how the music genre was like, how live music was put together so nicely. It attracted everybody in the world, and Ghanaians enjoyed it so much. And tell us about some of the singers and who were top around that time.
High life music is a kind of music that puts people together, because in Ghana we have different tribes. We have Elwes, we have Ashanti, we have Insimas, we have, and every tribe has its own form of cultural interpretation that they have. When we go to, say, dance floors and things like that, and Agbaja is played, we know that it's coming from the Ewe, side and things like that. It's only those who know how to dance Agbaja that will go to the floor to dance. When Adwa is played, it's the same format. When Kundum is played, is different. But the moment High Life is played, every tribe goes to the floor. That's the magic of High Life music. That every tribe, because they don't show you how to dance it. You can format your own and decide whether you throw your legs or things like that. Everything is accepted. Whereas it's it's something that adds to the rhythm of that High Life music. And aside from that, the lyrics that is coming from the High Life music, it tells you about life. So you're not just listening to the music, but you are learning it also from it. These are the things that is missing now, comparatively.
One of my questions was, at that time, which artists were top around the time of independence, before independence, after independence? What are some of the artists that comes to memory who have really
we had them in different formats. You're talking about the dance bands, whereby you talk about E.T. Masons and Ramblers, and talking about Hulu Dance Band, Broadway, Stargazers, and things like that. But we also have the guitar band, style of music. You're talking about Kakekus and you're talking about Yike Nyamis and Dr. KJC's, and so there was a separation, but it all of them came back to the same format of educating the people, through the music and giving different forms of interpretation. Because the guitar bands, when they hold your guitars and they're playing, you don't hear too many instruments. You hear the guitars and the bass and the drum and the that's it. But the feel that is coming out of it, you just can't sit down. Dance bands, they have the instrumentational side of it, that they will add saxophones and the trumpets and all that, to color, the format, because of invasion that was coming from the outside of Ghana. You're talking about that time, James Brown, them, talking about the jazz, and all of them were invading, because people that travel outside were coming back with them. So we were caught in the middle. And what GBC was doing at that time that I can remember, GBC had programs that played music coming from different African countries. So we sit down there, we know how, but when we hear way down south, that means it can be coming from South Africa. When we hear music coming from, you're talking about Tanzania and Mozambique and all this. So these things were being featured. And that became educative, to us as a people growing up, because you can be able to know what is happening at the other side, So
that basically inspired the high life genre as well.
Yeah, but them all, whatever that all of them were playing, the basics was on high life. Because if you go to Cameroon, the way they play the Cameroon music, or Congo, the basics was on high life.
Yeah.
Because when they play Congo music, nobody can will show you how to dance. You can just get up and and other formats. So the high life itself, became something that the Nigerians were doing it.
Yeah.
Other countries knew all of them were doing it.
Fela came to Ghana.
Yeah.
A lot here.
Fela started because Fela was telling his musicians and Nigerian musicians that if you want to know music, go to Ghana.
Go to Ghana.
Because Fela was coming here with his band. And at first he was playing high life, with jazz influences. Until he, experimented with James Brown beat, because James Brown has some tenor guitar, so it becomes a groove. Fela picked on that. And also added the high life formations and everything to it. And the school that he attended in England also helped him, because his musical arrangements for the horns and everything, when you hear, you know that this is Fela. So the identification was right there. That is the difference between then and now, because right now, the younger musicians, they don't have identification. Everybody is calling himself dancehall. Everybody is calling himself reggae and things like that. But all these ones were brought to us by our own brothers who were taken away from here. But this is the source, because they went away from the source.
This is where it all started from.
That's it.
This is where it all
So even if you want to play reggae, you can play reggae, but like the way the South Americans do it, when music becomes popular, they take it and play it in salsa. You see what I mean? It's a popular American music, but the same way we can also take it and play it in high life, because the identity is very, very important.
Very important. I mean, we could go on and on about that, because there's a global market that I think along the way, hip life music seems to have missed its way. But the same question to you as well. What are some of your fond memories growing up? Ghanaian music, who was it? Pat Thomas, C.K. Man, Amachi Dede, Kojenchi. Who was it for you?
Daddy Lumba.
Daddy Lumba, obviously.
Amachi Dede. Then Kojenchi. Yemu bi oha yenyi sabe ya tenwum ase through omo lyrics a omo de bayo. Me bo Daddy Lumba because ono minyi ofia na ne nwumde bia ye to na oboba je adofo enti na bibia no na usana oni penyitina na wutie sa nwum na ewunyi e ka wo ene mabunu na omo aba omo to nwum ye misa se den legacy no mo pese omuja because omo nwum no mo de ba 2-3 months na ewu yesa ni ne ya ye wi na etwem na so ya papa ene omo ba ekoni nyina oti omo nwum na oti se ababi wom Daddy Lumba for instance ewo situation bia na nwum a wode ba ori aho a wo nwum a wode ma wa obeti ase you feel it within you say the situation I'm going through no this type of a music I can listen to, or a song a bit me ama me relieve will be any other. So I think say young guys no more ban. We are not saying so much or more try or more best, but at least they should go back to the drawing board. No more from and penny for maba. So like ye papa mo etiasia or many 78 years. Ukono as a young artist now person who be alpha music one or better just now yete wa can send baby amisia because me feel say be ada the room ban kwana mpena sem to no kwana ma adwen won so there are some people who almost abaye bia omoko enti say ya ma enu anya ye focus na adwen trends and afa numbers and afa no sika be fi mu aba ye de and from a better idea yenya at the end of the day no one say young papa mon nyom na omo born in 90s 70s 60s no and one na be stay relevant na die no yen kai bi because profane no doso sending message bia and cash and one say clink ni asa and yes bibi dia ma piano o say green fifty na oko now so sad time no na omo the situation omo akomu omo experience in life and etonyu enu nti na omo ya de meyemo omo so aba so say omatimi age Ghana music na esiho. There was a time na metie Peter Odochi Nigerian guy na papa no na obi ka say oh Nigeria for na the high life o say dabi obobo Ghana for detail say sa wo pe enwuma sua kra nkasa so ko Ghana. Enti for somebody I want no when you na oti enwuma otimi ka say Ghana de enwuma mo na sha say high life the teacher no e chese ye wade bia eye ese so mu ye when it comes to
but
music
we didn't really do that. We didn't really take care of it. Now would you blame the average or the young Ghanaian musician for the current genre they pursue? Because music is an evolution. I mean, even during your time, I'm sure you can recognize that maybe 80 years ago, music in Ghana was totally different. 60 years ago, it changed. I mean, we could talk about the times when Boga High Life started. It sounded like funk music with Ghanaian lyrics on it. And I personally think they were adapting to where music was heading towards. Do we really fault them? And I really want to talk about how you felt or how Boga music was like around the time when it all started as well.
Well, Boga music came at the time of the revolution in Ghana, you know, because when Rollins made his coup and everything, you know, there was curfew for almost about 2 years and 3 years, you know, constantly. And musicians live by nightlife, you know, because it's night that he's going to go get some performances and make some money, feed his family and things like that. So when it happened like that, Ghanaian musicians started traveling out. That was when Amachi they did them and Adolfo them and Kugu Seku them all left for Nigeria. There are some who left for Ivory Coast and things like that. So Ghana became vacant. Now, aside from that, then the spinners, they sprang in because when the curfew was lifted, there were no musicians to perform like it was before. So, you know, the spinners, you know, fell in and coming back with, you know, big speakers and also playing well-recorded music and things like that. And Ghanaians fell for it because it happened constantly. So Ghanaians fell for it. And that's when the funky and reggae and all this started penetrating.
That's the time of the George Darkons, the Lido.
So Lido does them and the Daddy Lumbas them and in Germany and they also started experimenting with that. Because if you hear more of Daddy Lumba, you hear more funk.
Funk, yes.
You know.
Yes.
Although he's got some high life.
I mean, if you listen to Charles Samuel's song and you listen to a Cool and the Gang song.
Yeah. You see? If you hear Lidodo and things like that, you still can hear the funk behind it. If you hear Kojuenchi, you can hear the reggae more.
Reggae, the still pulse in there.
All behind it. But they put local lyrics to it.
Yeah.
You know, so Ghanaians accepted that because they can hear themselves. They can hear the keys and all that kind of things in there. You know, so that brought a change. But me, when I was growing up, I know that they were doing music and everything in schools. Why was it taken out of school? Because there were schools that people were doing grade 8 and things like that. You know, so before you finish grade 8, that means you have the knowledge of music and how to put, you know, music chords and everything together. But that was taken out of school.
Yeah.
So it means that if there's a celebration and things like that, me, I don't have to celebrate that because taking that out of school affects me.
Affects you
as a person because I'm a musician.
You're a music person.
You know, right now, the younger guys that are here are singing more of their girlfriends because they, you know, that's the closest thing that you know that because nobody's teaching the music because music is a language. You have to know the language because if you know the language of music and you travel outside and things like that, you can liaise with other musicians.
Okay.
You know.
All right, it's the Independence Day special right here on GHOne TV. My name is Jon Germain. We're going to take a break. Are you a sports fan? Football, boxing? We'll talk about that when we return. And we'll go back into music because music has evolved so much. Now AI is making songs. So it's quite complicated when we talk about music and all that. And I know some schools have started bringing back music in the school. So let's take a quick break. We'll return right here at GHOne TV. Independence Day special with me, Jon Germain. Great conversation, very interesting, some controversial, some interesting. But it's good to be here. Let's talk about sports. We were talking about 68 years. Now, Ghana has achieved so much in sports. I mean, when we talk about football, there's so much we think we could have achieved that we haven't achieved. I think in terms of sports generally, Ghana has achieved more when we talk about boxing, because there are many fighters like Azuma Nelson, Joshua Clottey, DK Poison who have won world titles. Let's try and celebrate some of these people with memories from back then till now. Who are some of the fighters, boxers, and some of the fights that you remember during this time? I'm going to start with you.
I will start with me. For me, when I was growing up, Roy Ankara.
Roy Ankara.
He was the first boxer that, gave prime to, boxing in Ghana. And after him, DK Poison and, all of them just, started cropping up and things like that. I think, if we talk about sports, boxing or anything, I think the time of Kwame Nkrumah, they put in more time into boxing, as well as, because if you look at football and everything, we had good players. They weren't taught like the way the English, you go there and they teach you, and things like, no. They were locally good, and I think even they had to play German team, and they have to win the German team. They brought a team also from South America and all that, so that became their testing grounds, for them to see their capabilities of, where they can go with boxing and things like that. So, comparatively as to now, and things like, I think that now more monies are being pumped into sports, but we're not getting answers.
Getting the results, yeah.
Yeah, because we are people of different tribes. Every tribe has something to offer. Because if you take a look at, let's say, a small place like Jamaica, where they produced very good, people with athletic frequencies and everything. So Jamaica is a small country.
Very.
So I think that if we want runners and things like that, we can get runners from different what we call it, tribes. If we want boxers, we can get. It's the only thing that we have to find ways and means to tap, into all that we have, because we have everything.
Yeah.
Everything that can make Ghana, because Kwame Nkrumah proved it.
At which time did the Ghana League begin? And around the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Yeah, which football clubs were top? Was it still Accra Hatofo, Kotoko Olympics, Ebusia Dwarfs?
All of them. Yeah, Hatofo was there. Kotoko was there. Sekeni Hazaka, Sekeni Wise. Olympics. Susubribis, and they were different.
My hometown team, Swedru All Blacks.
All Blacks. You go to Cape Coast Dwarfs and things like that. So, it was enticing that time that every place started coming out with, because it became competitive.
Yeah.
And it's not there now.
It's not there now.
Because I remember
in the 80s, Okoye United dominated the league.
In the 80s.
Yeah, that's your team. In the 80s, Okoye United dominated it. They were the team to beat. It was absolutely amazing.
But the strongest teams were, talking about Hatofo, you're talking about Olympics, you're talking about Kotoko, Cornerstones, and things like that. Kotoko, one team that feared Kotoko feared in Ghana was Sekeni Hazakis.
Sekeni Hazakis, yes.
Every team had ace counter. That when they meet, it becomes very competitive.
Yeah. Give me a few names. Some of the footballers along the line, along those times that you remember who did very well in the league and in Black Stars and all that. Give me some names.
You're talking of Agri. Agri. You're talking of Edward Aqua. You know, talk about Infumdem.
Infum, yes.
You know, talk of what we call it. There was also some good teams that came from out of Hearts of Folk. You know, and things like that. But you see, Kwame Nkrumah formed what was called the Republicans, and the Republicans had two good players from every team. That Kwame Nkrumah put them all together to become Republicans. You know, so that's why Ohinjan's name was named after Accra Stadium.
Yes.
Because of what he put in there. You know, and sometimes there are some names that they need to remain, so that the younger ones will come and they say, okay, who is
this person? Learn about them, yes.
You know, and it looks like that kind of tit for tat thing that is going on in between us is decreasing our growth.
But if you're boxing and football, some of your memories. Who are some of the boxers and footballers that you remember watching? I remember staying awake to watch a boxing bout between Azuma and Nelson, and those were the times. I mean, back then that was what everybody looked forward to. I mean, the tension, the anxiety, just waiting for Azuma to win. And most of the fights were around 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But we stayed awake to watch. That's how much sports brings us together as a people. At that moment, we forget everything, and then we are excited and looking forward to our countryman making us proud. Give us some memories.
But when it comes to boxing, I'm Azuma Nelson. I'm not a fan of sports, but I got to a point and almost share any manager. So I quite remember I said, and I do be an sorry. You say me papa to no or shame say, Nada will be a year bone plan and when you know so one tea and say, and it's that time na Emma and JB Ebemuniade and a canny pabum. And there was a timer, you must have gun and equal idea, no be adding a support, a tiny chi. And you know, more my baby or my dear, my idea, me I don't have much to say when it comes to boxing, but football, the Rebecca say, I be the pele more baba your modie and na to aswa na ba ye co school no 2000 mo na ye sports intercore ni ade regionals ni near the aba enti omo yi mu ni ade ni ye de ya training wom so school bia wo nipa bia enim oh when it comes to sports na ye football na say ye to emika na ye boxing, these people are there you bet me
programs that some of the legendary boxers, they go around and pick young people who seem to have passion for boxing and put them together. I know there's a junior Ghana football league as well, because my 14-year-old son plays in the Ghana junior league. So let's hope.
And you know that time now they deal with passion.
Now it's all about money.
No, no. Obibobo. You will be a bobo chance and more general chroma. You will be a bobo chain the day you will chroma. But because it's only Saskana year general, ain't in an hour theater. We have people who are more talent, no football, more bonny, and but Yama Bibia Baba Yesica, and to say, enjoy Sikana. A bayading, Ebi awo ba no betimi, Edinako, Academy, obetimi, as you are born. Meme obi otehwehwe bai saa nipa no no so tie kra no ebia woni eni ada ayibia obey ne dia ne se oh me pon me kwakobo bo e wo school ana me ne me fafo okoyese eno no e ma ne hope be ne no akoye nkan kumase uniska obantimi nkobi ti aban ne hwe ne esan dan ya chi konkra na se a ye benya young ones a ombetimi raise Ghana Black Stars amaye ni aje have two fond, I don't know if I could call it fond, Black Star AFCON memories. Two tournaments that I definitely thought Ghana was going to win, and Tony Bafo missed a penalty, and there was one that Asamoah missed a penalty. Gave me a heartache that till today I find it difficult. Senegal 92, I find it difficult watching matches, but we still love our Black Stars, and every single time we still support that. I have a quick question for you. Do you remember this classic, iconic Ghanaian movie, I Told You So? Take a quick peek. We'll come back, we'll talk about Ghanaian movies, we'll talk about television as well. Stay on, watch this one.
What a movie! What a classic! What memory! I mean, back in the day, the movie industry was so done well. I mean, they had so many movies that could compete with movies all over the world. Now you look at the cinematography on this one, the camera angles, the sound. Even a movie that old could possibly beat some of the movies now. Let's relive some of the memories. After watching this, what are some of the movies you remember watching 50, 60 years ago?
Oh, there are so many of them. You know, because the movie wasn't just only on cameras. You know, that time, because of the guitar bands, and so that anywhere that they go to play, there are plays. You know, they do the plays and things like that. It's just like
for it. What was it called?
Concert party.
Concert party.
Concert party.
Yeah. You know, and those times it was for real. You know, because the facilities weren't there. So when they do it, they did it for, you know, the reality of it. I mean, it's just like speaking to you. You know, now too many things are surrounding it, because I remember we would take about Nigerian movies and things like that.
Yeah.
Nigerians were coming to NAFTA here for making that time.
Wow.
Because many things is Ghana that opened the eyes of Nigeria. You talk about music, we talk about movies, movies and all that kind of thing. We open your eyes. Well, look at where Nigeria is now with movies and things like that. You know, and when it comes to us, it's like we don't have the actors. So some of the actors will paint their face, you know, like an old man, and to play the part of an old man. No. I mean, I don't see that one as right. It's like you don't have money, so you are trying to cut costs, you know, so that, no, it has to be for real. Because whatever that we're doing, we're interacting every day, you know. And the way you see me is the way I see you also. You know, so it has to be for real in a way that if it's an old man's part that he has to play,
it has to be played by an old man.
That's it.
Yeah. Is it, could it be because of funding? I mean, back then the Ghana Film Company possibly had more funding than it does now. Now most of the movies made in Ghana are made by private companies, individuals who have a little money here. And back then movies are aired in cinemas, and there are cinemas all over. Now you make a movie, your next thought is, where is it going to? Netflix, YouTube? And you wonder how you get to make your money back. That's one of the problems. So, I mean, I'm hoping we'll find solutions to these problems. But once again, I want us to remember some of the classic Ghanaian movies that from back in the day and until now. I remember Diabolo.
Yeah. The Mekaya concert party.
Okay.
Oboba J the Fomone and Crawford. Na so like me fie abitifi hon na ye concert house. No moba. Na wo hwe said ye makeups no say Diabolo mo be ya omo twitwa body enwura na omo de ahyehye place na ma na ese enti say what one na wo hwa ye wo said ade no wo hwa na in reality you feel it be no asa ye de eniema keka wa dada eniema ni ye pese ye kono abe for kwan sunti no ni ese ye yema ye ne gini yenye akan drama wo ho cantata agro waso trying na santo mo gina stage ni ade a sometime na nwumre bia akwese da was it akan drama na cantata kwese da nwumre bia na yete ho because Santoni, yes, Santoni Judas Simone, or more Kekano, or more beg ma be before flower, bessery, Diabolo mobile, it's no, Satam na okay, and no movie industry, no. Aqua, yes, sir. I say, the Casa, Jeniano, Ding, well, Unimatem, the DNA, I found no abbey, or that's all now, say, now, say, ye baby, a chino, ye nyashi womoa. Ebeyesue wundi amaye enti no obi a pet die obenya ne sika social media trends no obi abenya ne sika ye share uko YouTube anipa 5k na hwe 1 million views na menya o convert ne sika wenya obey say enti ama quality of adena ye hwehwe
it's not there anymore.
or ye ne kren no ko ye kan ye kan mame mu ababa wa Vivian Je wa baso or ye series bi wo YouTube so what na se na wo hwe ne oye na e kire wo bibi wanna say yes connect to kuma udanasi kumasi for a movie na ye hwe etiase Ghanaian movie no eno an ye hwe ne just recently I'm say regional minister Ashanti region Dr. Frank Amakwahine ati nipa ku afre ohima mesesi edumu ne omo kan wo say on person mo revive kumasi movie no entinu ye bompa say bia that initiative ne step na wafa no ebetimi aboa na yenko ne tetede no de ne yedi tufo akwala hwa woni sesei no yenye because now no Nigerians no take over ebe okro mo kasa ne yenti ase enso hwe na hwe say the storyline etie na
so watch it
what you say obroni de yenti action movie mo amanage ho amohwe na de na munya how a storyline etie nipa o ma cast wo mu no hyehyɛ ya ode ama wo mu ne nyomu di so film village kra ye ni biwa ewe ye ke ne obi akase o pese wo ye movie say baby anka ye wo baby ye krase ye krom ni ade omo ankasa de omo resource ntino ye niyeme ebe fata menye ne wo pe ntini enko back na yenko fatete de no de da so ya nyina ye hwe utimi say ye tete hwe video quality said ye tie hwe sound said ye tie omo mo kra bebre ho omo nti ase but still wo sha wunya nije and now I think say most of the TV stations enko back a omo yi Ghanaian movies and ma wote ase GTV ye baby anka Ghana ye movies ni ade nyina ye betimi a showcase no enwumre o ma wi o programs ni ade county fear so wunya kan drama hwe wunya kan tata hwe be ye nyina de adane business yan ko baka besa betna next year ni asaka the same topic.
It's quite interesting. I mean, watching these videos, footages there, Osofo Dazi's amazing memories with Osofo Dazi, amazing memories with Bra, David Donto, Grace or Marble, amazing memories. I mean, we totally enjoyed television. I mean, back then, for the young people watching now, back then, you needed to wait till about 4 or 5 p.m. to be able to get television to watch.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you need to watch some colored lines for like an hour before it starts. I'm talking about the time that there was no Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. So you can't go anywhere to watch anything else. So you need to sit and wait. And then usually after midnight, it ends. Now, television doesn't end. There's endless possibilities of what you can watch on television channels and on social media. Things have changed, but we definitely and obviously learned a lot from watching Osofo Dazi and watching Obra and watching TV theater and watching the concert party and all that. We learned a lot. Now, we spoke about possibly going back to produce that much quality in theater, in film, and television as well. How do we do that? Because I always talk about evolution, how times have changed. Now, the people who watch television, the majority of them are below their 30s and have gotten so used to the alternatives and options they have. So GHOne decides to start showing something that looks like Obra.
Yeah.
Do they get the audience? Is this what, even though that's the angle, or that's the area we want to direct our youth to so they learn lessons, is that an area that will benefit the channel? Because just like I said with music, things evolve, so things gradually change as well. It's great to go back to that, but where can we find a balance between trying to educate our children, putting together something that's quality, and also getting their attention because they have so much alternative? They could just turn on the channel and switch to TikTok.
Do you know the reason why into a Ghana movie industry grew here? You're telling novellas because so interesting. So we share so Bruni country. Meanwhile, you Ghana for Yana, yet say na yasesa wes no na yede abaye die mu na yaka.
No boni pa India pa no
kachi. Enso kono kroma obi sa no class how are you I want to say. Enti GHOne dey na omo ye no. Ade bia hyase ye den. But so with the determination and rate so siso a wutimi ye. Send ye abrofo country beji bumu anu nti e ma ye movies ni ade ye nhwe biom na Nigeria for do mo dia bewura mu no. I think say TV stations nyina come back to say the GHOne e ye ni no mu yi na abofo no e chroms we me penso no na say ni na ti o dia ye futu me papa ni a me pe movie binti asie ni muncheche I have to go to him. Daddy certain na mo hwe movie compared to na ye de ne den na change e bi o cassette bi gufie e na YouTube adaro ma betimi akobo na ya ti asie ye ma education ni nyemo because na de na ye sua na ye ma na hwe no omu go according to the omo hwe wo movie sinim and to say and go back ni and draw mo to the track am o ma hu say ni ya mamre say ni nim Ghana ni anase say your family system no say ni nim no we say you say Saturday na waka so hwe movie 5 am no when you are a wo hwe bio and no kwa na bi o wa wo ni TV wo fie Oko obi fie by 8 years mo ko hwe movie cassette aba yeso ko dware eno no bi timi be ma won sa so no ehwa won moto ma so dware ana wa hwe wo sense watwi ana satem na ema ahonidie ni discipline ye adwuma because se ma anye se ya minya se nye be ne no akola 14 years or tablet or iPad or laptop or phone. I know somebody and about 9 years or you saw iPhone 16 Pro Max. Wow. And to say kwala no dey afutu na ade be ma na fa Ghana movie ho obefa o ma ne phone so no data ni ono no hwe epe na obehwe.
That child is influenced by what they see out there.
And then obi ntia obi ba obi ntia enche obi ba say yes say ye hwe your education yes ma ye mbo nkwala into bet yes student we ni we akoka bomu but satem na no obi timitia obi ba na enye ne say enti see go back to your family system na ye nimu ye na ye de tete ye mu bi na nenu na ye de nam so na ebeboa ye nyina other than that no won say ye advance ye nim technology ba ye ye nim be ye ye chi
we as a people we're going backwards
than say
moving forward.
Thank you.
Give me 5 names of Ghanaian actors from the olden days till now that you totally admire.
Bobo Kala, Grace Omab, Mama Dokuno, and Santo Judas Akabako, Bakono Kobo, and Kayam the member.
Okay, Mr. Ambole, can you give me 5 names, Ghanaian actors that you found very interesting?
Can I add Ejako to it?
Ejako?
Yes.
Ejako, the guitarist or the?
Yes. Ejako. The new Ejako.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, David Donto. I think she's made mention of most of David Donto's category. Talking about Grace Amabo.
Yeah.
And Santos them. Santos them. They were
that's Samajete Fio on the screens. Amazing actor, taxi driver.
Yeah, Samajete Fio. But them, I think they followed because some others started before.
Yes.
Yeah, and things like that. And there were 2 different things. Like if you take a look at Bobo Kala and all those kind of things, their approaches are different. As to David Donto and Grace Amabo, and things like that. So we have to look at from those kind of angles. But they were of good contributions. To the arts and the films and everything. And we are people of culture, man. Tradition, is our culture, and wisdom is always our tool. We have to go back to it. Because it's only these things that can guide us. Because the way, we are created and things like that, there's always a connection of, this my auntie, this my cousin, this my... So there's always a network. And it makes the world becomes, little bearable because your auntie is here, your uncle is here. But now, technology has made that to become different.
Yes.
Individualism and all has taken, to the forefront. So we need to be careful, because now we're talking about AI, you know, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
We know that anything that is of artificialism, we can't count on that.
Yes.
But now we are starting to count on artificialism. That want to be, it can bring some answers and things like that. But anything that AI will bring is something that is already there. You know, and it just, catapulting on it. But it's already there. So if we're going back to that, instead of going back to our tradition and our culture and everything for guidance, because when they talk about Sankofa and things like that, there's a reason why they talk about it.
That's a very good.
You know, so we need to start thinking.
I think one of the things we need to look at is, just as we mentioned, I mean, back in the day, there was the cantatas and the concert party, which is theater. I've seen a few people trying to bring back theater, you know, staging plays at the National Theater and the Conference Center, and the movies. I think we need some of these companies come in to support, because it's not easy. I mean, I know a lot of people who try to put these things together, and sometimes you find that there's not a single sponsor, and they need to do it by themselves, and then they want to do it again, comes from their own pockets. They need to survive, their actors on it and all that. And the movie industry, we need to find a way to upgrade, because the rest of the world has moved so far away, and we have the talent here. We need to find ways to get that to happen.
And I think it's time for the government to come in. You know, because Kwame Nkrumah did that.
Politics.
You know, if you take a look at the Botila, Teddy Osei, Ushibisa, and all that, Kwame Nkrumah gave them all scholarships to go to music schools. You know, where are the scholarships coming from now? Who is, on a scholarship to learn what is called movie or anything? So it's like it's become trial and error situation. Everybody, I'm doing if it will work, and this. But I think that it's time for the government to come in, so that it's time for us to do seminars. It's time for us to do what is called workshops. We need to sit down. We need to put our minds together, share ideas. Then we see the way forward. All these things have gone, and if we don't bring them back, then that way they're front. We shall go all the time.
We need to bring that back. And besides government, the people out there, the companies out there, individuals out there with deep pockets, we are part of Ghana, and when Ghana excels, we all get excited. So if you have the funds and you can support, let's support and put Ghana out there. Now, I want you to talk about clothes, Ghanaian dressing, the clothes from all the regions, from top to down. Let's talk about some of the clothes that I think the world knows us for. I mean, other African countries try to steal kente from us.
Fugu, old school. Oh, say I can't go na entire sha, and then obi she bi ehun se sabi o krasini. But o she images here really was screen so na.
Back in the day, look at the bell bottoms. This was obviously inspired by America.
Yeah.
Baby atade enebo.
Yeah.
And then obi be hu na da no to. Ye obi wo ho aseti de kabaya ma she John on she bi da. Then I cry, I catch them 2 years in the sitting in Kabada. Why? Because they call me person me and my share just try me come baby, my share skate and me come baby. But that time especially a man that akatesia what cover said the marshal slit in Kabada. Wakatesia, and in unamwa you feel oh, get away the mammy at it in a year and pony a quadia warrior. Omo na obe hu se omo show your stomach near them. Oh, if you women are kwaja omo de omo ntade shemu nyo ababa we de ntade shemu krakeke eye enti ese esa come back ya masua hu ntira so say oman no because ye mabunu ni ade when you go to social media it's so embarrassing because you see a young lady na washenika ne to ase no da won ya de bem entade na yen man bi ho aye pama ya modernizing na ye pam abako When we say track kɛseɛ yi a ɔmo pimpinis no now aba bɛhu sɛ mmarima na ɔmo hyɛ baggy jeans akɛseɛ ɛma ye tutu ntoma ye si dancing kan bi nyina ya de ma ye hu sɛ yamam neni wo hia obi a ofi north ade ade be hu ne ye batakari ehye no ne fugu ne che ene ade wo hia obi o ya santini ye ni kente ena obe hu sɛ hye no wo hia obi o ya igweni a ono nso obe hu sɛ de ade abobɔ ne hwe ne ade you could see this person is coming from this what you say but na no ye youth no ye nim baabi a ye nyina ye fi ye nyina be hia hwetewete sam ne ye kɔ ye obi okra bisa ne sɛ ne tribe ne krade ne omo favorite food kra omo nim omo culture kra omo nim what you say enti say an churches an e mani nyina ma ye hu a e be kakra no ye nyina ne America for ne be pe
forget about everything before the average Ghanaian woman started perming and curling their hair, what did they used to do? I know the plaiting and all that. How was it like that?
Yeah, because we are people of different tribes, and every tribe has its own specifications and all that. I mean, like the sister is trying to explain that you see an Ewe, or you see an Ashanti, or you see a Northerner, there is always identification. Talking about, and the identification is not only in clothes, it's in the hairstyles, all that. And that time we weren't watching too much TV, we want to dress like them, act like them, because even as at now, sometimes it hurts me that many a time when you open your TV and things like that, TV presenters, the ladies, all of them are in wigs and things like that. And they think that is modernization. Then I said, no. And it came to a time that they said, we have to leave Fridays for Ghana. No.
Where Ghana?
Where's the
it has to be any time.
Because it belongs to us. We don't have to specify one day and say no. So all is falling down on the education. We need to. There are so many things that have been taken out of school that we need to bring them back. Because the formation of a child is from the ages of 6 to 16. By the time he's 16, he's seen whatever that you want to see. But if it's by the time he's 16, he's more in the church than being with their traditional and this and that. Then that's what he's going to take. So we are people, we know what is called the Almighty, we know the Creator, we know everything that is surrounding us. We understand them because our fathers understood them and they taught us and things like that. But the technology and everything that has invaded into our system, way of life and things like that, we've given it a leeway, so that now it's becoming more stronger than our own. And we need to go back.
We need to go back. When I started the show, let's talk about food. I like food, so I like talking about food. When I started the show, I remember talking about the fact that Ghana has the best jollof in the world. And then a Nigerian friend of mine sent me a message, I beg forget. We are not forgetting, that's the fact. Now for someone watching now who's not a Ghanaian, who doesn't know so much about Ghanaian food, can we talk about some of the kind? My personal favorite Ghanaian food is okru. Nkrumah froye. Yes, I love it, and I like eating it with anything at all. Even if you add bread to it, I'll eat it. That's like my favorite. Now let's talk about some of the Ghanaian food. My kids love eto. They wish they could eat it every day. Yes.
Maybe your baby, my French say Ghana aduane ya de a wodi ema wa homkan ma wa ahoɔden sɛ wodi bɔɔde agu nsuom na wapɛ kwa nsusu a anaasɛ ntɔrewa na wodi nyadoa bi aka ho na watwi kakaduro kakra garlic kakra na wache ngo no chiwo na wodi agu so wodi ahomka wo mu yɛhwɛ sɛ de omu yetu zafe yɛtete enwura ayoyo na yɛde nkruma nwura kakra fra ya tena sene yaka yɛde nam spices bi anim etoye a wo kan aduane ankofo pebe ne yɛden so pebro de wape kobi wape momoni jene nkatie na wanu watwi adwo na watwi nkatie na wache mu na ade afa ne nyina ya de ma ye hu se ye Ghana ni obroni timi ba ha se ne wabesua se de edi Ghana aduane na ni we fi se ni krom kra no wa aduane bi ho because of compare ne de ne ye de ni bomu a enye the same fufuo said ye betena sia wono ne ade ene yeso wo de wonsabo nsom na de ka fufuo na na den infections ne ade ntia ma so ne de akogu machine mu wo di besi wa 2-3 minutes na say
it doesn't taste the same.
What you say it tastes she powdered one no my ye no so no mo de aba yade aye pra ye duane na chi unim akawo mankani wutu no fofo wodi agu ho na mu awo kakra na fresh no wodi asisu watwu makobi wona wokọ Ghana nuane de bebre ya kase ye bobo ye benya ne bebre ntino
our time is even almost up, so I'm going to ask you quickly, what's your favorite Ghanaian meal?
For me, I don't play with my fufuna benko. I don't play with it. You know, I like eating that benko once in a week. No, except from that, my inkakra and all those kind of. And you know, like the sister is saying, the varieties.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you go and you see then different format coming from prepared from Airway side or prepared from Ashanti side. You know, so you know, we thank the Musa that we have varieties, and we need to put our minds to it for our own benefit.
Excellent. Excellent. Listen, Ghanaian food can take you to places that you can never imagine. If you're watching now, you know a Ghanaian, try them. I remember telling a friend that don't trust anybody who doesn't like wachi. Trust me. If any friend of yours tell you, "Oh, me, I don't like wachi," don't trust that person. That's amazing food, and that's Ghana. We've been celebrating Ghana on the Independence Day special right here on GHOne TV. We spoke about a lot. There's a lot that we discussed, went through, but trust me, Ghana has put the rest of the world on the map. Everybody's talking about Ghana now. Listen, a few days ago, the Grammy Awards happened, and the journalists all over the world mentioned one artist as the best performer at the Grammys. Most Ghanaians don't know that that singer is partly from Ghana. Ghana's doing really well. Listen, thanks to Mr. Blay Ambole, the legendary saxophonist, jazz singer, high life singer, and once again, possibly the originator of rap music, and also broadcaster, Ifya. Thank you for joining us. The name is Jon Germain. Listen, you've seen me here. Look forward to me returning here. Thanks to the entire team at GHOne TV. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Mama show. Sika minya no me pray na sala minya sika no. E so bebe dia ni mu, na so gi sika, e de ma obusuani, na so ama me